Hey, welcome. Welcome, guys. This is the KANU Chronicles. I'm your host, Nate, aka Crash. And we're going to get into episode 229. 229. And it is actually Christmas today. I wasn't planning to podcast, but I figured I might as well start recording a little something since I have some time right now. It's quiet. It's a nice day. And sipping a little bit of wine right now. It's actually going almost on to 4 p.m. But real quick, let's get out of the way. If you're following or looking to follow me, look me up on Twitter at KANU Chronicles. And then also on Instagram, you can look me up at GRTN and the number 8. That's Great Nate. And that's it. You can follow me those two accounts. And also, if you're more interested about KANU, you can go to I Love KANU. That's the letter I, LOVEKANU.com. Learn a little more and, just check it out. Do have a merch shop. You can check it out. Definitely going to be doing some updates soon. I know I've probably said that for a while, but it will be happening shortly. And all that good stuff. What else? Oh, also, of course, please give any likes or any help on any of the platforms you're using, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, CastBox, YouTube, especially the YouTube page. Beyond just the podcast, I do have some other videos and so forth, so check it out. You could subscribe, and that's the KANU Chronicles there as well. But any help spreading the word or just giving us props, it all helps out to get us, not us, but myself, this podcast. And, of course, any future guest I will have on the podcast. But it gets, obviously, more ears to us. That all helps. So, just checking out a little NBA action. Of course, trying to think, Monday Night Football, I could talk about that, but I'm trying to remember what game that was. But anyways, NBA action right now, we have Houston versus Golden State. Golden State's actually up by 5 points in the late in the third, going on a minute left. So pretty nice little change of events here. Houston was being kind of dominant. I mean, it's been kind of close, though. It hasn't gotten out of control. So it's good. Probably a better game than maybe we're expecting, Got one more quarter, so things will heat up, and that's great. Let's see the other games. I think the Celtics were the first game. They beat Toronto in Toronto. The Boston Celtics won 118-102. So very disappointing loss, I'm sure, for Toronto. And then we have the Philly game against Milwaukee coming to Philadelphia for Christmas. Playing the 76ers, the Bucks playing the 76ers, and the Sixers won 121-109. That's pretty badass on Philly's part, so they're coming along. So now, we're definitely in that part of the season. It's definitely heating up. Got a little time, though. I still feel like there's still another month until it really gets grinding. But this is kind of the beginning of that stretch, if you want to call it, where you're going to see some of the best highlights of the year, in terms of the regular season. And, later on we have, of course, the Lakers playing the Clippers at home. Both kind of home courts for them, but, of course, it's Laker town no matter what. And you have the Denver Nuggets at home playing the Pelicans. New Orleans Pelicans with an 8-23 record coming to play a very good Denver Nuggets. So that's it. That's the late game, actually. So, just a little basketball, which is nice. I mean, it kind of feels like a day you would have a football game, at least one. But I guess tomorrow night's going to be that, right? So let's go to football, give you some quick rundowns. I'm not going to be recording super long right now, guys. I will be just doing a little short bit here just to get things kicking. But I hope you guys are having a great holiday if you celebrate the holidays or whatever the case may be. I think whether you do or not, I think it's a nice day to relax at the least. A lot of people off the road, or maybe on the road, depending where you live, people visiting each other, and so on. So let's see, I'm going back here to football, and we're going to go to week 16. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where the fuck is that Monday night game? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Doing a little, you know how I roll with this. Okay, that's right. Green Bay and the Vikings. Yeah, Green Bay took it to them. Actually was, I think for one half it was close, maybe even to the third quarter. And, yeah, and then the Packers took over. I saw them right when they got that touchdown to take it to 23-10, so that, you know, I could tell right there it was pretty much over. So, yeah, good shit by the Packers, man. Quietly doing really well this season. 12-3 record. You know, so that makes things pretty interesting. Definitely everything's coming to a head with football. My Steelers, of course, you know, we need the Ravens. We need to beat the Ravens, which we have a shot because they're going to be having some of their starters out. They don't really need to win this game. And, but the thing is, we still need the Titans to lose, and they're playing the Texans, but they are going to be in Houston. And the Texans have, I think they won their last game or so. You know, there's a possibility there. So we definitely have a chance. But, you know, even if we somehow would pull it off and do it, I don't feel too hot about the playoff game, whoever that's going to be. But I'll have to see who that's going to be, and then maybe I'll have a different opinion. You know, and obviously, depending how we win, if we could really win solid and somehow do something kind of badass, you know, that would make things feel a little stronger. But, you know, I just don't have, it's hard to have that much confidence because, you know, we have some rookie guys right now. Now, we do have some guys they're bringing in on practice squad that have some more experience, I think, but I don't know if they're going to go right to any of those guys. It's pretty crazy. I mean, but I like that. At the same time, I like that we at least have this chance, you know? At least we're all the way at the end of the season, and it's like, okay, you know, worst case, I think, yeah, we end up 8-8, I guess, so, yeah, it wouldn't be the worst. And actually much better season than the last time we had an 8-8 season. You know, this one would be much better. That one, it was like we really, yeah, it was pretty shaky. But, you know, that one I remember, I think it was the Bengals was the last one. Really good win. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But I'm just really hopeful. I think a win, just at least winning over the Ravens, and just that being that'll be good. If we could finish with that. Yeah, it'd be 9-7. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I would take that, you know. That wouldn't be bad. No playoffs, but 9-7. Sure. Yeah, it's fine. Because, you know, it's, I don't know, man. It's a lot to ask for this at this rate. But we're seeing how much Big Ben, you know, made this team so awesome, you know, over the years. You see the difference. So, but next season, definitely believe next season or this off season they're going to make some solid backup moves. I think they're definitely going to do that. There's somebody's going to get, you know, Mason or one of them. They're going to figure out. They're going to probably have to drop one of them at least, maybe. And you're going to see, you know, I'm just putting this out there. It's possible. I kind of want it anyways, even if Ben can come back really strong. But I want to see them get a Phillip Rivers or somebody really Teddy Bridgewater as a backup would be fucking fierce. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's other jobs out there. I don't know, but you'd be surprised though, man. I mean, I think they're one of those guys. They wouldn't have a problem being a backup on the Steelers. I think they'd be pretty happy with that. Plus, they would, I'm sure they'd be compensated pretty well. I don't know. I mean, why not be on a team that always has a chance and always seems to be, right there in the mix, great fan base. Yeah, there's a lot of things about it that's, I would say is attractive or should be attractive to different players. But it really comes down to the Steelers if that's what they're going to pursue. So it's a little early, but I do think that they have to be. I'm sure they're rolling that around right now, up in upper management and ownership. So that's pretty much what's up right now. And don't have many other opinions about the rest of the NFL just yet. I'll wait till we get after this. Well, obviously after this week, the next podcast. I'll be getting into more of that coming up the next one or two. But yeah, we're facing the end of the year. I know that this podcast you're going to hear, it's going to be later than normal. Just one of those, it's a holiday week. It's just the way I'm going to roll, man. So don't worry. Everything will get back to regular schedules, after the holidays. So expect next week kind of to be the same thing. But if I, maybe I will get it off though. So you're gonna just get some extras though. If anything, that's maybe what whatever. I'll just leave it as, hey, check us out, keep up, and you will be getting a podcast either way every week here. It may not be exact on time, but that's how it's gonna be here for a little stretch, and then it'll be back normal Tuesdays. Simple as that. And that's Tuesdays here, Pacific, in the U.S. So if you want to line that up to your day, you'll do that, and that way you'll know. So whatever that time is, overseas or whatever, figure that out, and then that way you'll know how that drops. But shout out to all you guys, any overseas listeners, and of course here in the States, here in California, LA, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I know I'm going to get it out of the way a little early, but while I'm thinking of it, for this year, into the podcast, year 10, do want to say, I was watching Rogan. He just celebrated his year 10 the other day. It was the 10th anniversary from when he started. And I started earlier, which is crazy. Just a few months, back in the April of that year. So it was, about 8 months earlier. Almost exactly. So definitely awesome to share that kind of anniversary with someone as badass with a podcast that's done so much for so many, and including me. I mean, really all of us. If you're a listener, I would think if you've listened to enough, you've probably got some things out of his podcast. The cult. I think he's just really, because of the time and the amount he's done and all the different conversations, he's really etched in something in society and culture. I really believe that in this decade, and I don't think many would argue that. You have to say that. It's whether he meant to, and I'm sure he would say it. It's like, it's been something he's been a part of and doing himself, but I'm sure he wouldn't have called that he would be in the way he is now, as far as so popular and so many people interested and all that good stuff. But it's awesome. He's done his work and he's continuing, so it's fantastic. And all the people, all the other comics and all the people, he's influenced and helped out getting their podcast going. So it's wonderful, man. And who knows? Your boy Monday, maybe I'll get on there. That'd be pretty crazy. I'd have to do something pretty significant somehow. So I got some work to do this year, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much what's up, guys. In terms of all that, just wanted to start this off, but I'm gonna let it go for now, and I'll be back on a little later. Hey guys. welcome back. Told you to take nothing but a couple seconds, but we're just getting going here. It's day after Christmas, the evening after Christmas. Just hanging out. Actually, after the JOB, and about to split from where my hanging out grounds, my little spot. But yeah, just watched a little college football. Probably the first bit of college football I've seen this year, but it was Pitt versus Eastern Michigan in the I don't know what that bowl was called. One of these bowls, but definitely not anything super, not a big championship bowl or anything like that. But they got to a bowl, and good game. Actually, great ending. And Pitt pulled it off, 34-30, with a last second touchdown to get them over the hump. It was pretty close all the way. And, good job by Pitt. I haven't seen them this year. I guess they finished with like a 8-5 or 9-5 record. I'm not sure. So, kind of similar to the Steelers in a way. But, Pickett, the quarterback, player of the game, 376 yards, I think, with 3 touchdowns. But, so that was kind of cool, seeing a little bit of that action. And it was funny at the end of the game, I guess some frustration, and most likely it would be, but the Eastern Michigan quarterback, I can't remember the guy's name, number 9, I know. I think I've got his number right. He got into it with one Pitt player, smacked that guy in the helmet, gets a flag. Then he tries to smack another guy. In the process, smacks the ref or hits the ref. Ref goes to the ground. He gets ejected. I mean, just a shit show. And they had all they had is a 4th and 10 after, and they put the backup in, and of course the guy couldn't get nothing. It was just, it's like, dude, you just have to just finish the game. What are you doing, man? And then on top, it's so bad because it's like this is your, like it or not, this might be the best game you ever get to. This is it for your career in a sense. I don't know where this guy is, if he's a junior, whatever, but the point is, you don't, that's college for you, but it's like, look, man, this is a game. You got scouts out there, they're watching, and you want to make the best impression you can. You could only do so much. Maybe you don't have a great game, maybe you do, but that's definitely not how you want to go out. So, yeah, you could best believe that some scouts out there just scratch that guy like, nah, he's a head case. It's just bad. You just can't do that. I'm sorry. It was like, he would have been better off having a little moment with somebody earlier in the game, But you don't want to get ejected. Come on, you're the quarterback, for crying out loud. It's just, if you're a defensive player, you could get away with, you might still get scouted with that happening, but a QB, that's not a good look. I don't think they're going to really like that, especially if you're like, hey, who else has gotten ejected for this or that in a game, or one of the bowl games? As it goes on, oh, just him. That was it. That was the only guy. It's like, oh, great. You're going to really stick out like a sore thumb. It's not like guys are getting ejected every game, especially quarterback. So, bad move on his part. But then again, who knows? He might end up just fine. They probably give some leeway to these kids, but it was more funny than anything. Thankfully, nothing, nobody got really hurt, I don't think. At least I don't think so. That ref was down, though, so I don't know. He might have got hurt, man. Fuck. But, yeah, actually, like I said, just a little more interesting than I would have thought. So getting back to, NBA action last night, and I didn't watch it at all. I went over to a friend's house at some point because I didn't really get to, be with any family or people, really, outside of my wife in the morning. And so I went to a friend's house, thankfully, who was around, and hung out with him, so that was cool. And he's not a sports person, so there was no, he wasn't watching any games. But the Clippers and Lakers, Clippers won that game, 111 to 106, I think. It was like a 5-point win or something. I think the Lakers mostly had the game, but they're having some problems. I think people are figuring them out, which I'm not that surprised because, like I said, they were having a lot of these kind of close games, but they were winning. They were closing it out, but I'm like, that shit's going to catch up, and it looks like it's kind of catching up to them. They're not really being dominant. I mean, you think the record makes it look that way, but if you look game to game and stuff, they are not super dominant. They're not smashing opponents. Nobody really is right now, quite honestly. And it's kind of unrealistic to expect that right now, especially in the West. But we'll see. We'll see, man. But I'm not too shocked. So you got a four game slide for the Lakers going into the new year, possibly here if they don't get a win. And it's kind of rough. So bad night for a lot of Laker fans yesterday, not getting that Christmas gift. But I was picking the Clippers. I wanted them. I like them, I like that team. I'm not going to sit here and just pretend like, I'm Mr. Clipper. I haven't been, but I've pulled for them quite a few times. Over the years, I pulled for them because it's like they're like the ultimate underdog. And they're not only that, they've at least now become a team that's been the ultimate underdog, but now they're finally have had some legitimate teams, especially since the new ownership. And it's not going to change either. They're going to keep really competitive. This team right now is really good. So hopefully they finally get their championship. It's really would be. It's never going to be the Lakers. They're never going to get to that level. That would be pretty unrealistic. But nobody's. Come on, that's ridiculous to even put that on them, anyways. But I tell you what. If they get a championship, you better believe you'll see some changes start happening with some fans around here. You'll see more people jumping on that bandwagon for sure as it goes on. Especially, if they could get to where they win 2 or 3 of them, now you're talking. You'll start getting, it'll heat it up that much more. But shout out to the Clippers for that win. Good solid win. But kudos Lakers. Hopefully, I don't wish them bad. I want them to do well too. I like for real. For the fans, really, I'd like to see them do good in the organization because what they've done for so long. I mean, it's only right that they get back there again, but. May not happen, but we'll see. There's plenty of time and stuff, but it's fun. It's just great to see. Just really interesting. But that's it for the sports aspect of things right now. Don't have much else to say. I know this weekend's last week of football, week 17. A lot of last week. Everything's kind of culminating. A lot of do or die scenarios, a lot of all that shit. So, everything's coming down to the wire for some teams this week. So it's going to be fun. One of the better last weeks of football in a while. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Like I've said with the Steelers, I have a part of me that wants, yes, I'd like to see it happen, get to get to the playoffs, and all that stuff, but I don't know, man. I'm just like, let's just win the game, and we'll see what happens. I'm not really thinking playoffs too much, because if they would happen to excuse me, I keep having like a burp or something that's trying to come up. It's disgusting every fucking time when I start talking. Excuse me. Oh, God. But yeah, I don't want to have a team that's limping into the playoffs, because that's pretty much what you'll have right now, because, it's not like, if we won our last 2 games, and we continued, then that would be great, but we're not. So if we get this win, that's, if it's strong, I mean, that's nice, but again, we have to rely on Houston to beat the Titans, so it just sucks when you're in that spot, that's all. But we'll see what happens, man. Again, I'm happy that we're even at this point, and I don't think it's foolish. Maybe some fans would argue, you have some crazy diehards that, really expect so much, and all that good stuff, but I just don't. I haven't expected this year. If you've listened consistent, you know that I haven't expected much from them for quite a while. For weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, it pretty much since Ben was out and other things started happening, I was like, hopeful, but very realistic, So I can't reiterate that enough. Sorry with these hiccups, man. This is so fucking annoying. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Nothing else really to say about it. What else is going on? God damn it, man. Yeah, anything else is, not a whole lot to speak of. Had a great, I wouldn't say great, but I had a nice Christmas day. Definitely wasn't bad. We had a nice, really good storm last night here, and we're supposed to get more Monday. This doesn't stop, man. This just doesn't fucking stop. Fuck. So, yeah, so we're getting our rain is, we're in great shape. We're definitely above the levels. We're all good. It's funny because ever since that drought, you get people who still are nervous or think that, some people, I wouldn't say a lot, but like my cousin, he thought one of the reservoirs was a little low when he saw it, and when we were coming back on a drive, and he just kind of said something about it, but I was like, dude, we're fine. Like that's nothing to even look at in that way, and matter of fact, who knows what the reason was exactly why I was a little low anyways, but yeah, no, we're doing good on the rain, definitely. This will be the third or fourth, I'm trying to think, third. Yeah, no, this will be the third year in a row, it looks like, of a good rain season. So, and already 3 years ago, that first one, that brought us back pretty much all the way right there. So, going into this one, it's like we're in good shape. So it's good, man. I'm just happy to see. And yeah, we got another system coming in. Supposedly, we'll see how it goes. I think it just is in Hawaii, my friend was mentioning. And, that's about it. But, funny thing is, temperature-wise today, in this last couple days or going forward, we're colder than back east right now in Pittsburgh. Today we were colder. That's hilarious. Like right now even, it's colder. Just by like a few degrees, but nevertheless, still colder, which is hilarious. Doesn't happen that often. So yeah, we're gonna have some cold weather coming up. But, it's normal. It's actually, yeah, for this time of year here, that's what we're supposed to kind of have. So, I'm not mad. It's good. Getting a little bit of seasons. I'm just glad every year, like I said, it's been the same thing these last 3 years coming up, so no complaints. And this summer was great. I mean, it's extended very nice. On top of that, it wasn't brutally hot. We had some, little moments, but nothing crazy. No bad, no big stretch of some serious crazy heat. Nothing. It was mostly pretty regular. So that was nice. So no complaints, man. Oh man. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm gonna stop for now. Because getting annoyed with the hiccups and talking, and it's not really helpful for you guys or me. So, plus, I'm going to wrap up for now because I don't have a lot else to keep going on. Plus, I'm getting home. But anyways, I'll be back in a second. All right? Bye. Hey, guys, just jumping back on. Continuing Friday morning. In this delayed week of a podcast, of course, like I said, you'll be getting in a weird spot here and there, just for this week and going into next week. They're just going to be a little off right now, but don't fret, man. We got a lot of good stuff coming, man. Sorry with all the Jamaican accent, but it's fun. I've been watching, if I'm not promoting, I already told you guys, I think, in one of the previous, but I'm going to keep going on, because there's so much content, but Ross Kitchen, check it out on YouTube. I'm just promoting this freely, I'm not getting paid. There's a lot of stuff on here. I'll tell you what I would get paid for on here and whatnot, so just to let you know that. So yeah, this is a channel I purely love. Just found it 2 weeks ago, Matt. Barely? 2 weeks ago. Maybe 3 ago. No, going on 3. Going on 3 weeks. So, yeah, I've been checking that out. And I'll just repeat what it is. It's this guy, Matthew, who has been going down to Jamaica for the last 10 years, pretty much, and continuing. And he's made a great friend in Ross Moko, who's a Rasta, who has a retreat, essentially, in the Blue Mountains up above Kingston, Jamaica. And he will, cook for anybody that stays there. There's, real meager, simple accommodations, but very, all the comfort, simple comfort. You're not completely without anything. There's some Wi-Fi, I think. There's electricity, and anybody can go. So it's really cool, and he's been going there and, documenting kind of his life and the life of a Rasta, but also the cooking, the Ital cooking. That was the focus of it, and it has been. And, just letting you know that. Excuse me. But I think that it's an entertaining, relaxed bunch of videos to watch, type thing. It's really cool. I definitely recommend it if you're in a certain mood. And, the way he's edited and the music, it's you got the reggae stuff a bit. He also will give you the links to a lot of these new artists that he's using in the music. I guess not surprising, but surprising. A lot from England. A lot of these guys from England, and they're really going for that old school reggae vibe. They're doing that old school dub sound, they call it. So really nice, man. Really great. This is the type of channel that makes YouTube a good, really good. I'd like to see more things like that in a way, instead of, I don't know, a lot of people have gone, I think it's changing too, but, a lot of over the top, that's always seems to be the thing, or, just an extension of reality programs, and I don't know, there's just a lot of kind of junk in my mind, but I guess for, obviously depending on how old you are, hey, everybody's got their content, so it's fine. But there's a lot of fantastic stuff. I just think this is, this really is, I'd say it's quality. I know he was making it in mind to get picked up, like on a network. So it definitely does come across as some of that. But it's definitely still like amateur-like, or like there's not a lot of interruption in it. It's very natural, very not trying to do too much type thing. But yeah, so that's all I gotta say. Not overproduced, I guess that's what I should call it. Yeah, it's one guy. I think it's him and another guy, and that's it. Maybe, I don't know if he has anybody else at this point on his crew, but shout out to Matthew and all of them. Ross Moko, Ratty, I think it's Dorette, maybe, and there's a couple other people not from the people from the show and the that live there. These are real people, so shout out to them. Definitely will be continuing to bring it up at times. Yeah, man, you can learn. It is really good, man. If you like cooking, or if you want to maybe do something with your diet. He's the guy lives very natural. It's great and really, I think, important and good to watch, because you will get something out of it. You'll go, damn, I should be maybe, eating this or eating that. It's, you can make a lot of these recipes somewhat at home if you follow what he's doing. It's not going to be exactly the same, but you can go, you can get pretty close, depending where you live and what kind of stuff you got around you. But now he's got a lot of roots and all these things that that would be interesting to go find. I'm sure. That's what's fun about it. It makes me want to oh, where's that? What's that? I want to try that. And being in a city like LA, or even not, just having the internet, I think you feel it. You're like, oh, there's ways to get this stuff or whatever. You'd be strprised now what you can get. If you look hard enough. But I think it's fantastic. And speaking of all that, been, just used my juicer again, my brand new juicer. So I did that the other day. Need to make another batch. Got to keep that up real good. Yeah, man, it's fantastic. Really good stuff. I made cucumber, carrot, ginger, and green apple. And I think that's it. Lime. Oh, that's what it was. Lime. 1 lime. Yeah, it's fantastic, man. Real good. Definitely, I could recommend it if you have a cold right now, or you want to prevent getting sick. If you have a juicer, or you just go to your local juice spot, they'll make it for you. Yeah, those are ingredients everybody can get. It's not that unusual. But, of course, not everybody may like it, but I think it's a good one for most people to try, that combination. You got some sweet, the only thing is the ginger might be a bit spicy for some people, but I think you can get used to it. It's just as long as they don't overdo it, Everybody's going to have a level of, sensitivity to things a little different. I know I probably have a pretty high tolerance to certain things. Not really, really high, but decent. I can handle a good amount of heat. I haven't really fully tested myself for a while to do some hardcore ones, but I'm not into that anymore. Probably if I was a bit younger, I don't know, at that age where you're more fired up to try stuff, I probably would, but nah, man, it's not worth it. I mean, I know what it's like I'm just going to burn my face off, I'm cool with some habanero. That's about as good as it's going to get. And even that I'm not going crazy for, I'm not trying to get the hottest. But I don't know. I like the chili sauce, like from the Chinese restaurant. So I still eat a good fair amount of heat. I just don't do it a lot. And I don't go too, you'll fuck yourself up. Yeah, you can't do that. You could have some, and even some, everybody's different. So even in saying that, if you have a sensitive stomach or you get easily whatever from hot shit, it's not worth it. And, there are products you can have along with it that could help tame that. But, yeah, man, it's not for everybody, and I understand that. And it's funny, though, I remember, and it still goes on to this day, Pittsburgh in particular, and I think there's a lot of towns like this around, but, man, if you go shopping, if you're somebody that likes just spice, you don't even, just like myself, maybe even a little lighter, but, you like spice, right? Man, go shopping out there, it's amazing. There's so little, I remember it was like that, but it's still the same, but, there are places you could find it, but there's so much less, salsas and, just spices in general. It's very much, people have more of a bland kind of palate. Not bland, but they don't like spice. And, I'm talking people think ketchup is spicy. There's some, real bland milquetoast people out there. And it's all good. That's send love to all of them, man. I'm not trying to clown hard. It's just fun. It's just interesting, how that still kind of goes on, But I just wonder if it's just exposure somewhat. If it's something you really just have that way in a genetic kind of way, I guess there would be some level of that. But I feel like if you're exposed to some spice pretty early in your life and you like it and you try it enough, I mean, I think you could I feel like you build up a tolerance. Otherwise, if you don't, and then you go a lot of your life and you don't do it, and then all of a sudden it's just too hot. I wonder how that is. I wonder if that is just based on exposure more than anything. I think there's some level of truth to that. I was exposed pretty young to some spice. There was first things I think of when it comes to that, and I'm sure it was even earlier, I always was attracted to peppers. My mom would say I'd always get the peppers. She always had pepperoncinis around. I think a lot of people did. That was the hot pepper in the house back in the day. That's what everybody thought was oh, that's really, really hot. And it can be a little kick still. I'll tell you what, they do have a little kick still, but if you get a good one. But I think it was them and probably even some jalapenos, and I would just eat them and cry, and she'd be like, what are you doing, And I'd just keep doing it, like a torture. It was weird, I don't know. But I kept, I always kept liking to try spicy shit. But this one guy at my mom's job, she worked in a mental facility, now it's like a rehab, but at the time it was, it was just a mental facility, not huge, but pretty good size. But I think there were some different famous people's kids that were there and stuff at the time. This is in the early 80s. But I was real little, and this guy, one of her coworkers, Ish, he, shout out, I hope he's still around, man. I did get to see him, years ago, again, after all, many years, I got to meet him, see him again. But, he would, I think he was an orderly or something like that. He wasn't a nurse, but he would, he brought in some kind of Mexican hot sauce or something, and he would always douse up these great chips that he'd bring. They were really good. He had some good food he'd bring, but it was usually chips and salt. We're not talking about a bunch of shit. It wasn't like tamales and everything. It was just really chips and hot sauce. But I remember them being really good, the chips themselves, but that hot sauce was no joke. It was pretty spicy. But he would be macho, try to show off, and he would, like, drink half the bottle, just to be a badass or something and stuff. And it was like, that was my reference point of a guy that can handle some shit, you know what I mean? So that started it off. And I was like 6 years old and shit, maybe, I was real little, but I remember that shit. Maybe 7, I was around that age, 6, like, the times there that I remember that I was at that place, probably, I was there from, like, I was there even younger, but, like, age 5 to fucking 9, basically. Yeah, pretty much. But, it's a special, it sounds funny because it's like, it's a mental place. It's where your mom's working, what. But it's a special time in my life when I think, if I think back to it a little bit, I think of those people and, they were close to us. I mean, I was babysat by some of them sometimes and, I was there a lot. I ate with them. I knew the patients a little bit. I can't remember everybody, but I just remember, some of those times. It was actually pretty fun. Somewhat, Not all the time, though. It would be boring, too. But, it's funny how you pretty much, at least for me, you could kind of cherry pick and you get glimpses of those good times. You don't think about the in-betweens and all that. It's pretty wild. Guess that's good. I mean, at least I do that. Some people, not so lucky. They got a lot of bad times, maybe. As a kid, or whatever, or they actually kind of go towards the bad times, even though they had good. It's weird. People get caught up in different things like that. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So, anyways, the holidays winding down, just going into New Year's. I think everybody still likes to keep a little Christmas going. I see the decorations; they'll stay up. I don't blame it. Where, I say go for it, let it be till the New Year's if you want. It's only another week. But, yeah, pretty much once that hits, you got to wrap it up. But it depends. Even right now, I'd say some shit. If you're a business and certain things, it's time to wrap it up. I'm talking if you're at home or your car. Yeah, go ahead. Have fun with the holidays a little longer. I don't, I mean, either way, do what you want. But I'm just saying, I think businesses and stuff like that, it's time to kind of wrap it up now. But yeah, man, it's been true holidays here. Like I said, we definitely haven't, if you're in certain places, I've seen some friends, there's fucking snow and it's cold for here. I mean, it's not abnormal. It's pretty much, I remember winters like this as a kid here, so, and also over the years since I've lived back here too, so it's not, this temperature, these temperatures aren't like, oh my God, I mean, maybe we're getting more than we have, things like that, but it's not, now if we got like 20 degrees or something crazy, that would be shocking, that would be something to really be like, oh my God, but, not here. There's probably some mountain ranges here and there. I'm sure that are getting down like that. I'm gonna look that up today. But I want to see what the coldest spot in California is right now. But yeah, it's gonna be a mountain range somewhere. That's where you're gonna get the coldest. But otherwise, nothing huge. Most of the country kind of the same weather, that's kind of interesting. At the same time, I mean, again, probably has happened. Most likely has happened, but yeah, something kind of noteworthy. So for back east, yeah, it's kind of mild, not unusual. I'm telling you guys, I remember plenty of winters growing up in my life. Whether that's completely usual or not, I'm not going to sit there about climate this or that, but yeah, I remember a lot of kind of mild Christmases. Not really surprising. Now some areas of the country that might be, if you're Minnesota or somewhere like that, where it definitely had a history of being like really cold weather. and then you just get 50s for Christmas, that's probably that's a bit understandable. But Pittsburgh, New York, a lot of places they're not typically super cold at this time of year yet. So it fluctuates. Anyways, hold on for a sec, guys. I'll be back. Oh, sorry. So, I'm going to wrap up here in a second. Just going to wrap it up overall so I can get this sucker out for you guys. I think it's going to be pretty good. We're almost going to have an hour's worth right now, so chill out. Got the nice sounds in the background. Shout out to all those lo-fi artists. I love that music. Again, I got to make sure to start sharing the links. I'll try to make sure on this one. But yeah, shout out to all those artists. Great stuff. If you want to listen to more of that, go check out Chilled Cow or Chill Hop Radio and all those guys. That's where I learned about it or found out about it, just running into it on YouTube. And I love it, man. It just gives me joy every time there's you find some good new music. You realize it gets me back all the time and I go, hey, good, see? I've been pretty positive. If you hear me talk enough about this, I'm mostly trying to be optimistic about music. A lot of people aren't, especially my age. They have a very, and I understand, you get stuck in a certain time, or you want it to be what it was, and, I'm seeing that getting to that point in your life, you start doing that shit. But, it's foolish, man. You gotta embrace what's going on around you. Some of it, not all of it. You don't have to embrace all. It's not about that, but you gotta find your shit, And maybe you just doesn't mean, hey, listen to your old music, do what you want, but don't be so negative. People get real negative about it. Yeah, music's interesting. I'll talk. It's been happening for years. People get down. All of a sudden, they just, it's not this, it's not that. And I understand for, a little bit you might get that way, but I got annoyed with my own self of okay. Yeah, no, I've been pretty positive. Like I said, it's, I think I started getting I don't know, maybe, I think I've just had back and forth, but there was a period there, I think I started 07, there was a period just before that a little bit where I was kind of, not feeling it, or just, I don't know, just weird and shit, you know what I mean? And then at some point, 07 was actually a pretty damn good year, and then I just really kind of changed my attitude about it, and I've been kind of riding on that since then, but doesn't mean time to time, of course I get disappointed. Of course, there's always gonna be some artist I'll hear that I'm fucking garbage, but it doesn't matter. You promote it enough to people, and people are gonna like it. It's just like a filter. I mean, especially now, it's not hard to promote yourself with all this social media and stuff, and anyways, that's another conversation. But let me wrap it up, guys. Thanks again for all the listening and continued listening. Just if this is the last podcast of the year, which may or may not be, Happy New Year, wherever you're at. Enjoy. And that's it. Don't do anything stupid. Just have fun. All right. See ya.